Breton.
Quinn?
I'm afraid our good friend Quinn met with an unfortunate incident during all the commotion and is no longer with us.
Your voice. It was you this whole time. Who are you?
For the moment, I'm between identities. I apologize for the duplicity, but it was a necessary precaution. You had to be kept in the dark.
And Keitner? Did she know?
Commander Keitner's perception was much like yours, shrouded. She saw what she needed to see, and was told what she needed to hear in order for me to complete the mission.
So we were both pawns. Except she's dead and I'm not. So where does that leave me in your grand design?
We're all pawns in someone else's grand design, Mr. Jensen. But that doesn't make Natanya's death any less tragic. Your actions ensured her sacrifice was not made in vain, however. Dr. Kavanagh made it out safely, and is on her way to the rendezvous site. She will expose the truth in due time.
And the prisoners?
Ah, yes. The prisoners. With Kavanagh out, it's only a matter of time before this base makes international headlines. Until that time, however, I cannot say what Bell Tower will do next. I only know that a cornered and desperate bull is a very dangerous beast. We mustn't stay here much longer, Mr. Jensen, if we hope to get you away from this base.
I still have questions, Quinn, and I want answers. Real answers, no more bullshit.
You really want to waste time chatting, Breton? Fine. I will answer what I can, but keep in mind you have a boat to catch.
Keitner said she had been approached by an agent from Interpol. It was you, wasn't it?
Very astute. When I learned of Commander Keitner's suspicions and insubordinate behavior towards Burke, I saw an opportunity. Pretending to be an agent of Interpol seemed the best way to gain her trust.
You mean you lied? So who do you work for?
A loose network of independent operatives, agents of conversion and equilibrium, who seek to expose corruption and assure humanity's natural progress. In truth, we are not affiliated with any global organization. But then, neither is our enemy, officially.
Your enemy? You're not just talking about Bell Tower anymore, are you? You're talking about...
The men and women who pull Bell Tower strings. The same men and women who ordered them to kidnap Megan Reed. Mr. Jensen, allow me to stop you there, before you say anything that might embarrass us both.
What?
Please. I detected your Cassie augmentation the moment you started to analyze my facial movement for pattern sequencing.
But back in your workshop, you...
All part of the game. Think nothing of it. As much as I enjoyed your clumsy attempts at persuasion the first time around, we'll just move on from here, now. Pretending you managed to convince me to be more forthcoming with my words. What is it you hope to learn?
Something more tangible than a flowery speech about idealism.
Because I admire your tenacity, I will attempt to satisfy your curiosity. But only if you'll humor me for a moment and answer a question of my own.
Sounds fair.
In Roman mythology, Janus was a god depicted as having two heads, each gazing in the opposite direction, one looking eastward, the other west. Symbolically, this meant many things to the Romans. But I'm more curious as to what it might mean to you.
Seeing into the past and the present. The beginning and the end. Alpha and Omega.
I believe you and I have more in common than you would like to admit. Technically, I suppose there is no incorrect answer. Theologians and philosophers have debated the origin and meaning of Janus for millennia. But in time, that name may take on new meaning for you.
Why? What are you getting at?
While the term invisible war has lost much of its significance due to misappropriation, I assure you, there has never been a better way to describe what is happening in the world. The lives of millions are being decided without a drop of blood ever spilt, but the casualties remain the same. Myself and others are fighting a never-ending battle against forces that seek absolute dominion over our fates.
You're telling me the people running Bell Tower want to rule the world?
Bell Tower Associates is no more than a proxy. Puppets on a global stage. The true enemy hides in shadows, the disembodied hands that pull the strings of Bell Tower and others. This is neither the time nor the place to go into detail, but everything you've witnessed here today is in direct correlation with Illuminati interests.
Roman gods and Illuminati. Wonderful.
You asked for clarity, and I'm being as honest as I can. Whether you choose to acknowledge them or not, lines are being drawn. Most will never be lucky enough to pick a side, but a time will come when you will have to. I have chosen mine.
Bell Tower probably has a battalion on its way to clean up this mess. How do you plan on keeping what we did here a secret?
I'm delighted to say that Burke did most of the damage control for us. After requesting the profile search on you, he never explained why he needed it. I believe he wanted to keep control of you to himself. Since that time, we've been monitoring all incoming and outgoing communications, and the lockdown allowed me to discreetly install a tunneler, rerouting the base's network traffic. By the time Bell Tower realizes something is wrong, it'll already be too late.
What about the rest of the base personnel?
Most of them think Burke is still in command. Technically, orders continue to be issued in his name, but I'm the one making the calls. I've also taken the liberty of cordoning off this sector of the base. For the moment, at least, we're safe.
Burke isn't exactly dead. And once he wakes up, it's gonna get ugly.
Like I said before, you haven't made things easier for us. But they haven't forgotten that small detail. For now, Burke remains contained. Once you're off the base, I'll find a more permanent solution.
All right. Where's Megan?
I don't know for certain. But what I do know is that earlier today, Burke issued orders to have a large group of detainees transferred off this base. Supposedly, they will be assisting at another black site facility.
Kavanaugh said this was just the factory floor. You're sure Megan is at this other facility?
Nothing is ever certain in life, Mr. Jensen. But it is the best chance you have. Unfortunately, the cargo ship carrying the prisoners has already set sail. But I took the liberty to send out an urgent dispatch in Burke's name, ordering the ship's captain to hold position until one more detainee could be flown on board. In stasis. A helicopter is en route to pick you up.
Wait a second. You want me to get inside another stasis pod? Last time I got in one of those things, it didn't go so well.
I know it's far from ideal, but frankly, your options are quite limited. Although, I suppose you could try swimming there.
Better be the right fucking boat this time. Because I don't feel like coming back here anytime soon.
Don't worry, mate. It'll be grand. Besides, I thought you Americans liked riding off into the sunset. It's done. Exactly as you instructed.
And yet you sound disappointed. You think we should have handled this differently?
I think we had a valuable asset in our hands, and we're letting him slip away. He could have been very useful in the coming storm.
A hand does not need to be clenched tightly to maintain its hold on someone. Jensen carries too much baggage right now. His obsession with Reed only serves to distract him.
We could have told him the truth.
He must discover it by himself. And when he does, if you have followed my instructions precisely, we will know how to find him.
Assuming he lives that long.
Pritchard, any chance you're still there?
Jensen, my God. You've been offline for days. Where the hell are you?
I was hoping you'd tell me.
I'm pinging you now. You're in Singapore. Something's wrong, Jensen. I pinged you, and a second later, I lost your GPL signal. It's like you disappeared into a black hole.
Gotta be a jammer.
Well, obviously. If you can find the transmitter and take it offline, I'll be able to track you. And keep you on a tighter leash.
I've got more important things to do than help you keep tabs on me. If Megan and her team are here, there's no time to waste.
CO is here.
He is? How do you know?
Waller told me he saw him talking to the Queen.
I'm sure she was probably bar.
Hello? If anyone is hiding here, you better come out.
Sounds like you're chasing them.
Returning to tonight's biggest story, the World Health Organization today issued an unprecedented recall on augmentation technology. For days, reports of temporary malfunctions and electrostatic disturbances have been flooding in from around the globe. Elizabeth Duclair, spokeswoman for the WHO, confirmed that the cause of these disruptions has been linked to a major malfunction in the multi-channel peripheral nerve biochip, a device which transmits neural impulses directly to inorganic tissue. She is urging people to visit their local limb clinics immediately to have the...
Access granted.
You must have done something, Jensen. 4 of our GPL signals just popped up, including yours. Koss, Colvin, Faraday. I'm not picking up Dr. Reed.
Send me the coordinates you do have. And Pritchard, tell Sarif.
I can't. While you were incommunicado, Mr. Darrow invited him, Bill Taggart, and the UN delegates to Panchaea. They're halfway to the Arctic by now.
Great.
Access granted.
Inside sources tell me that augmentation giant Ta Young Medical is scrambling to produce enough new and improved biochips to meet the expected demand.
Access granted.
Inside sources tell me that augmentation giant Ta Young Medical is scrambling to produce enough new and improved biochips to meet the expected demand.
Access granted.
Who's there?
Access granted.
Adam? Adam Jensen? Good grief, lad. What the blazes happened to you?
I made the mistake of surviving. I'm here to get you out, Dr. Faraday.
I told Vasily that Seraph wouldn't stop looking.
Sevchenko's dead, Dr. Faraday. I'm sorry.
I figured as much. One day he was just gone, and they wouldn't say why. We were all afraid, so we just kept to the work. They forced me to create a signal pattern that could broadcast software upgrades directly into a person's implanted circuitry.
Upgrades? That do what?
Whatever instructions have been encoded into them. They said it was to improve efficiency at clinics, but that wouldn't be the only application. Far from it.
Really? What about Dr. Reed? Her GPL signal isn't broadcasting. Do you know where she is?
In the secured zone. You'll never get in there. Too many guards.
A distraction might encourage them to leave the area. Say, an incident in one of the labs.
A bold plan, my boy. But one small incident would never be enough.
No, you're right. But 3 simultaneous accidents might.
I like your style, son. And it just might work if you can get Nia and Eric to agree. But timing them to occur at once, that will be the trick.
I'll worry about the timing. For now, sit tight and wait for my signal.
There's one thing you're forgetting, lad. They can track our GPL signals.
I thought as much. But we have no choice.
There may be something. Vasily wanted to upload a virus onto their security network, disable their GPL protocols. Eric or Nia might know more about it.
Any idea who's behind this, Doc? The kidnapping, the facility?
Not really. Remarkable considering I've been here 6 months. You would have thought someone would let something slip. But if it doesn't have to do with the research, you don't get a word out of them.
Sounds like the guards are well trained. But what kind of threats were needed to stop the other researchers from talking?
Well, there were threats early on just to get us to work. Of course, Vasily saw right through that. Kept saying they needed us. I suppose in his case, the risk outstripped the return at some point. Damn them.
Dr. Sevchenko probably knew the risks and accepted them.
That he did. Go on, lad. Let's put this plan of yours into action. It's time to teach these wankers a lesson.
Gotcha. Just be ready. When you feel your GPL vibrate, set off that distraction.
Understood, lad. But do be careful.
Access granted. Access granted. Access granted.
Who is it? Stay out there, goddammit. Access granted. Access granted.
Access granted.
Yeah? Who is it? You gonna stay out there, goddammit?
Earthquakes and hurricanes that are created by these man-made weather machines, the greater need for visionaries like Darrow to come out of thin air and say, I'm here to save the world. I just need more money. More money! I've always told you, followers, just follow the money. This time the money is in the entire West Coast collapsing into the Pacific. Not to mention hitting a home run with the count of the plastic population. They've been talking about this one for years, so
Hello? If anyone is hiding here, you better come out.
Access granted. Access granted. Access granted. Access granted.
Get the hell out! This lab is off limits to you people.
Nice to see you too, Dr. Goldman.
What? Wait a second. I know you. You were Seraph's security guy. Way to protect our asses.
Hey, check the attitude, Doc. I nearly died trying to save you.
Oh, and now you're here to take me back. Well, maybe I don't want to go. Maybe I've got more here than I ever had at Seraph.
Would Vasily Savchenko agree with that? They executed him and dumped his body in a ditch.
That's not true.
Believe it. Unless these murderers have you so brainwashed, you don't mind building their toys.
It wasn't a toy. It was a software upgrade that limits functionalities in a biochip. They told me it was for crowd control. Is Vasily really dead? You saw the body?
What was left of it?
Oh my God. I should have listened to him.
Dr. Colvin, I need to free Megan Reed and get everyone else out of here. It means causing simultaneous accidents in 3 labs.
Declan and Eric. Of course. Interesting idea, Mr. Jensen. Ambitious, but risky. The timing will be critical.
I'll coordinate the attack. But you understand that this could all backfire.
I'm no shrinking violet, Mr. Jensen, but there may be another issue.
The GPL tracker, I know. I also know about the virus Dr. Sevchenko developed. The one meant to interfere with their security.
One step ahead. Just like Vasily. It's a good plan. However, I don't have the virus program. Perhaps you should check with Declan or Eric.
I will. In the meantime, stay tuned for the signal. You'll feel a vibration in your GPL. That'll be the time to set off the distraction.
I'll be ready. And I'm sorry about what I said.
What do you want? I told you people not to barge in here. Wasn't the new biochip design enough?
Dr. Koss, I'm here to get you out.
Jensen? From Sarif? But we were told we'd been written off.
Not exactly.
Listen, Jensen. They forced me to work for them. I didn't want to create the new biochip, especially since it was based on Sarif's research, but they didn't give me a choice.
No one doubts your loyalty, Dr. Koss. Do you know what they plan to do with this new biochip?
I'm not sure. They said something about having Tai Young Medical produce it and distribute it through LIM, but I can't be sure.
I've already been in touch with Colvin and Faraday, and we've come up with a plan. If the 3 of you set off simultaneous explosions in your labs, it might allow me to access the secured area and find Megan. Then we all get out of here.
Isn't that a little risky? Besides, how will we coordinate these accidents? It's impossible.
Maybe not. But it's that or staying here and eventually ending up like Dr. Sevchenko.
They killed him, didn't they? He kept provoking them, coming up with these wild escape plans. They try to keep us apart as much as possible now. All right, Mr. Jensen. I'm with you. What's our next move?
Listen, Dr. Koss. Dr. Sevchenko had a plan to neutralize the GPL tracker.
Yes, he wanted to upload a viral program onto the security control computer to scramble all of their equipment. He gave me a copy in case anything happened to him. Here, I never had the courage to use it. Besides, we had nowhere to go.
Dr. Koss, the bioship you mentioned was based on Sarif studies?
Yes, I believe so. At first I thought it was merely convergent research, but I've worked with Dr. Reed long enough to recognize her handiwork. Besides, I had been working on something similar back in Detroit.
And your knowledge of it made you invaluable here.
At least to a certain extent, it probably helped us all stay alive. But now with Dr. Shevchenko, I guess we've all become expendable. Except for Dr. Reed, I suppose.
Why do you say that?
It's more of a general feeling, I guess. Back in Detroit, we all realized that we were on the verge of something groundbreaking. And here, well, everyone seems to view her research as crucial in some way.
That might explain why she's being held in a secured area.
Possibly. I'm just glad we're going home. It's kind of hard to believe.
The computer I need to upload this to, where's it located?
Vasily mentioned a tunnel near the back of the compound. I think it leads to the restricted area's security terminals, but, well, I've never used it myself. I wish I could be more helpful, or even go with you. But...
Stay put, Dr. Koss. Once I upload this virus, you'll have to do your part. When you feel a vibration from your GPL, that's the signal to set off the explosion.
I'll wait, Mr. Jensen, but hurry.
Access granted. Access granted. Access granted. Access granted.
False alarm.
Who's there?
I heard something. I'm gonna check on it. Relax. No one's here.
Access granted.